Hey everybody, I'm Tom Vasel. Welcome back as we take a look through the Dice Tower library. We're on shelf 9C. Alrighty. Not a lot of rhyme and reason to the games on this shelf, on shelf 9, other than that they're all the same size, kind of, sort of. I mean, there's more Euro games here than not, and none more Euro-y than the first one here, Russian Railroads. Russian Railroads is a game which is not as strong of a railroad game as just it is an auction game and moving along tracks. Despite that, and despite the fact that you can know halfway through the game that you're losing, I really like this worker placement game. It is solid. Then we have Prodigals Club. Prodigals Club is a sequel to Last Will. In Last Will, you're trying to lose all your money. Be the first to get rid of all your money, a la Brewster's Millions. In Prodigals Club, you're doing the same thing, but you're also trying to lose your friends and your reputation too. I find the game to be very humorous, but also a really solid game. Dominant Species. You'll see I have Dominant Species here from Chad Jensen. A really solid game, but it's very long and very involved and very take-thatty. There's a lot of stuff going on. I don't play it very often, if at all, for that reason. But I can still recognize what a good, solid game it is about fighting for the dominance of the world. And Dominant Species Marine, right next to it, very similar, although interesting how the boxes are not the same size. That's an odd choice, just considering they're from the same company. But this one's, I don't know, they're both good, and there's differences between the two. But I don't think if you like one, you won't like the other. Next to that's a small game with the band still crossing the name there, but that is Welcome to Centerville. Also from Chad Jensen, the designer of Dominant Species. He also designed Combat Command Europe. This is about placing and controlling areas in a town. It's quite good, actually. It's very abstract city builder, but I like it. Then we have Belfort. Belfort's one of the games that put Tasty Minstrel games on the map as you are, again, kind of building a town. You can see the trowel right there on the side of the box. Man, it's been a while since I played this one. I know that this came out with the 10th anniversary edition of it a bit ago, but I know it's solid, and that's why it's in the library. Galaxy Trucker. Not like any of the other games I talked about so far. A real-time game in which you're building a spaceship, and then you have to have that spaceship survive a bunch of just mishaps. It's hilarious. I love it. Not everyone does, but it's strong enough that it's getting a reprint, and by the time you see this library, the reprint will likely be in the spot there of Galaxy Trucker. Cupcake Empire is one of those games I'll pull out when I'm at the library that I'll say, you probably haven't heard of this game. And it's the truth of it, because Cupcake Empire is a game in which you are using dice to place your cupcakes out in different, your factories that make cupcakes or your stores that sell cupcakes out onto the board. Very quick little game where the dice will change what you do and the different colors will matter. It's a neat concept. Symphony next to it is another really, really neat concept that I love because I love music and I love the symphony and the orchestra. And it's just, the rules are a bear in this one. The game is more complicated than it needs to be, and yet, despite all that, I have it here because it's neat. I actually played this for the first time at a Dice Tower retreat. It could use a streamlined, better version, and I don't know if anyone's ever going to check it out, but it's a cool concept. Next to it is Oregon. Very, very boring looking game, in my opinion, and very simple, Euro rules of tile placement, things like that. But it's a good one, and I don't know if anyone will grab it, but you should at least think about it. New York Slice, which is one, I think I have this in the library two different ways. I have Piece of Cake. The box sizes are so different, I can't put them next to each other. But New York Slice is an I split, you choose style game where you take a pizza, split it up, and then everyone else picks their piece before you get it. Then you score differently for the different slices of pizza. Great game. Grand Austria Hotel. This is a game that works best with 2 players, although it can play 2 to 4, but be prepared for some considerable downtime with 4. Now, I've really blinged out my copy of Grand Austria Hotel. It has really nice pieces in it, but it is an excellent game of dice drafting, and I just really like the designers there. Luciani, I think, is just a fantastic game designer. King's Guild. If you ever played Splendor and thought, I like this game, but I wish there was more, that's what the King's Guild is. It's like Splendor for gamers. You are basically to each turn taking some resources, using those resources to build different items that you will then sell to adventurers who come by and buy them from your shop. It's really fun. When this first came out, I played this tons and tons. I haven't played it as much recently, but I still really like the game. Feudality is a classic older game from Z-Man here, from Tom Wham. Now this one is wonky, and I don't even know how long this will be in the library because I don't know anyone who might check it out. But it is, you're rolling dice and seeing where the coordinates of those dice are as you get resources and things. Almost like it's like Tom Wham played Catan and said, let's make a Munchkin version of Catan. That's not exactly right, but it's close to what the game is. Around the World in 80 Days. Now there's a lot of games like this sort of thing. This Around the World in 80 Days, I thought I had 2 of them with the same name in the library, but anyhow, the going around the world as fast as you can, moving around the track. It's a simple game, but it's the first game that had a time track that I've ever played, where whoever was in last went first on this time track. Furance, this is the newest game on this shelf, I think. No, Dominant Species Marine is. But Furance is pretty new. This feels like a bygone classic game of auctioning for different factories and different things to make goods. It's really worth your time, and check it out. This is a great game that I suspect will be pulled from the library quite often. So there you go. That's Shelf 9C. I think my favorite on this shelf might be Russian Railroads or Galaxy Trucker. It all depends what you're thinking at any given point. Until next time, I'm Tom Vasel, and you've been watching another Dice Tower shelf in our library.